For a long time, I felt trapped inside my own head. I paused every few seconds to think, what does that mean? Or, how do I say this in my language? It was slow. It was frustrating. And I thought I'd never be able to speak English well. But then I found a way to stop translating in my head, and today, I'll show you step by step how I did it. Hi, everyone. My name is Paloma, and I'm from Colombia. If you've ever felt stuck because your brain starts translating every English word into your own language, I understand. I used to do this too. Every time I heard English, my mind raced to translate instead of just understanding. It made me feel like fluency was impossible. But here's the good news. There's a simple way to stop relying on translation and start thinking in English naturally. No more translations, no more stress. Just easy, real English. Let's start. The problem with translating in your head. When I first started learning English, I had a bad habit. Translating every single word in my head. Every time I heard a sentence, I'd pause too long and think, what does this mean in my language? You might think this helps, but it actually made things harder. Picture this. You're speaking with someone and you keep hesitating to translate. The conversation becomes choppy and awkward. It's hard to connect, right? Also, translating word by word often doesn't work. English and my language have very different rules and phrases. Sometimes the translation sounded strange or didn't make sense at all. If this sounds like you, don't worry, you're not alone. Many English learners do this. But the good news, there's a better way. I'll show you how to train your brain to stop translating and start thinking in English naturally. Let's go! How I overloaded my brain to stop translating. The first trick I tried was something called overloading. It sounds complicated, but it's really simple. I started reading a book while listening to the audiobook version at the same time. This might sound strange, but it made my brain super busy. I couldn't stop to translate because my eyes were reading the words while my ears were listening to the same words in English. It was like a challenge for my brain to keep up. Sometimes, I didn't understand every single word, but that was okay. The important thing was that I was practicing at the speed of the audio, so I had to keep going. Give this a try. Find a book you like, get the audiobook, and listen while you read. I promise, it's hard at first, but your brain will get faster and faster at understanding English without translating. The magic of speed listening. Here's a powerful trick most learners never try. Listen to English content at a slightly faster speed than normal. It might sound strange at first. Why would I make things harder on purpose? But trust me, this method is a game changer. Try setting the speed to 1.25x or even 1.5x. At this pace, your brain won't have time to translate every word. It's forced to understand instead. Think of it like swimming. In shallow water, you can always touch the bottom. You feel safe, but you're not really learning to swim. Now imagine stepping into deeper water. At first, it's uncomfortable. You might flail a bit, but very quickly, your body learns to float, move, and breathe in rhythm. That's when real progress begins. Your brain starts picking up patterns, guessing meanings from tone, and connecting ideas directly in English. It's like magic. The key is consistency. Once you go back to normal speed, everything feels slower, easier, clearer, and more natural. Conversations that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. You'll catch linked words, stress important syllables, and use pauses for emphasis, all without needing subtitles or mental translations. I've never heard this method taught in schools, but it's one of the fastest ways to break out of the translate every word habit. Why? Because it trains your brain to work with the language, not against it. Give it a try today. Start with a podcast or YouTube video you've already watched before. Speed it up, let the chaos begin, and watch your brain adapt. You'll be amazed at how quickly your mind starts thinking in English. Try this trick today. You'll be amazed at the magic it creates. The power of long listening. Another thing that helped me was something I call long listening. Instead of listening to short songs or quick videos, I started listening to podcasts or audiobooks for an hour or more. At first I thought, how can I listen for so long? I'll get tired. But that's the point. When your brain gets a little tired, it stops trying so hard to translate every word. Instead, it starts to just understand the meaning naturally. I remember the first time this happened to me. I was watching a French TV show because I also learn French, and suddenly 10 minutes had passed and I realized I hadn't translated anything at all. I was just Understanding. Try this with English. Pick a podcast or an audiobook that's close to your level and listen for a long time without stopping. After a while, you'll notice your brain relaxing and understanding more naturally. Talking to yourself. Here's a fun and simple technique I call forced description. This is when you sit somewhere, maybe a park, a cafe, or even your room, and describe what you see in English. But there's a rule. You only use words you already know. For example, if I see a man walking a dog, I say, I see a man with a dog. If I don't know the word for something, I just skip it. This forces your brain to use English words directly, without translating. It's like training wheels for thinking in English. You can do this silently in your mind or out loud if you feel comfortable. It's a simple habit that really helped me stop translating and start thinking in English naturally. Shadowing. One of my favorite techniques is called shadowing. You listen to a sentence or phrase and then immediately repeat it out loud, trying to copy the speaker's pronunciation and rhythm. For example, if you hear, "I'm going to the store," pause the audio and say it yourself right away. Then play the next sentence and do the same. Shadowing helped me focus on speaking and listening at the same time, which made me forget about translating completely. Even if I didn't understand every word, I was busy listening and speaking, so my brain didn't have time to translate. Try shadowing with short videos or podcasts you like. It's fun and it helps your English sound more natural. Visualize vocabulary without translating. When I learned new English words, I used to write down their translations in my language, but that only made me slower. So I changed my approach. I started picturing the meaning directly in my mind. Let me explain. I remember when I first learned the word bicycle. Instead of translating it, I closed my eyes and imagined riding one, 2 wheels spinning, my feet pedaling, the wind in my hair. Later, I looked up photos online to strengthen the image. Then there was umbrella. I didn't write it in my native language anymore. Instead, I pictured holding one in a storm, feeling the rain bounce off it, or ladder. I visualized climbing it to reach a high shelf, feeling the rungs under my hands. Why did this help? Because when you link a word to a vivid image or action, your brain stops relying on translation. It creates a shortcut, English word to mental picture to meaning. No more switching to your native language. You can try this too. The next time you learn a new word, don't write its translation. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what does this look like, feel like, sound like? Or open your phone and search for a quick image. Just start connecting words to ideas, not to other words. This simple habit trained my brain to think in English naturally. Ready to give it a shot? Pick a word and start picturing it today. Use an English-only dictionary. At first, I used bilingual dictionaries. They're useful, but as soon as you get to an intermediate level, they can make you translate too much. I switched to an English-only dictionary, where words are explained in English. At first, it was hard, but it forced me to understand English with English, not through translation. If you don't have a physical dictionary, plenty of websites offer English-only dictionaries for free. I'm a huge fan of the Oxford English Dictionary. It's an invaluable resource for learners and language lovers alike. If you have access, I highly recommend exploring it at www.oe.com. It's been a trusted companion in my English journey. You can also use Cambridge Dictionary at www.dictionary.cambridge.org. It is perfect for English learners. It offers clear definitions, real-life examples, and even grammar tips, all in simple English. Another great option is Merriam-Webster, which includes audio pronunciations and fun word quizzes to boost your vocabulary. You can try it at www.merriam-webster.com. Why does this matter? When you rely on English-only dictionaries, you train your brain to connect words with meanings in English, not through translation. This helps you break free from that mental translation habit and start thinking in the language itself. Start using one today to train your brain to think in English. Repetition is your best friend. Finally, here's a secret. Repetition is key. Hearing or reading something over and over again helps your brain stop translating. When you listen to the same podcast episode or read the same story multiple times, your brain gets used to the words and phrases. After a while, you understand the meaning automatically, without translation. Don't be afraid to repeat things. It's not boring, it's how your brain learns. Wrapping up. So, that's my story and my favorite techniques for stopping translating in your head and starting to think in English. Remember, it's okay if you don't understand everything at first. What matters is that you keep practicing and push your brain to work in English directly. Try overloading with reading and listening, speed listening, long listening, talking to yourself, shadowing, visualization, English-only dictionaries, and most importantly, repetition. If you start using these techniques today, I promise you'll see progress faster than you expect. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories and tips to help you learn English naturally. Also, leave a comment below and tell me, what's the hardest part about stopping translation for you? Thanks for watching, and remember, your English journey is unique and amazing. Keep practicing and don't give up. See you next time.